Shema Yisrael Asher Eloheinu Yahweh Echad. Vahafta et Untitled Chapter ובכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך וחיו הדברים האלה אשר נוחים מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ולכתך בדרך ובשכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לעוד על ידיך וחיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. Excuse me, friends, my voice is a little weak today. What language? Hebrew, Abi. Hebrew is the language that we pray in. For now. Shema Yisrael, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad. Listen, Israel. Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad are one. All these gods are one. Repeat that sentiment every day. Bind it as a symbol on your hand. Let it serve as a sign on your forehead. Repeat it on your daily TikTok stream. And maybe one day, your life will be well lived. So, today we're going to continue reading from the story of Atrahasis. Okay. Abby, have you been here before? I assume not? Welcome. I'm glad you're here. There aren't many people here today. Few friends today, but that's alright. Well, this is my daily stream, and what we do here is we say some very old words. So we started with the book of Deuteronomy, right? Which is one of the oldest texts in Judaism. And now we are shifting to this, right? So the cover says Enuma Elish. Enuma Elish means when on high, right? And it's how these stories of the ancient Mesopotamian gods start. And we're in the middle of the story of Atrahasis, which is a story about drought and flood. And how the gods punish human beings for being too noisy. And we're at the very end of a drought. But we're still in a terrible, terrible drought. So we'll read how Atrahasis communicates with the gods about the pestilence that they have cursed upon humanity. So that's how we will begin. And I'm glad you're here, book. I'm glad you enjoy this. Hope you stick around. But Eliel had to put up with all the loud clamor and clatter, so Eliel the warrior raised his voice to be heard. Is that where we are? Yes. I am just as greatly annoyed by the racket that they make, and am yet unable to sleep from all their clamor and clatter. Thus, let us make it so the humans will be denied their food. Make it so that there is not enough corn to fill their stomachs, and make it so that a God in heaven will hold back his rains. Beneath he will act to assure waters do not gush from springs, so that the farmers' fields no longer produce in abundance. Let Nisaba hold back the nourishing flow from her breasts, so the black soil of the countryside becomes blanched white, so the landscape everywhere is encrusted with a salty dust. Let earth deny her succor, so nothing grows, not even grain. Make it so the people are plagued by the horrible disease. Constrict the birth canal so as to deny a prosperous birth. Happy Mabon. Will you tell me about Mabon? Thus they made it so that the humans would be denied their food, making it so that there was not enough corn to fill their stomachs, made it so that Adad in heaven would hold back his rains. Beneath he acted to assure waters did not gush from springs, so that the farmers' fields no longer produced in abundance. Good morning, Queen. And Nishaba held back the nourishing flows from her breasts, so the black soil of the countryside became blanched white, so the landscape everywhere lay encrusted with a salty dust, and the earth denied her succor, so nothing grew, not even grain, made it so the people were plagued by the horrible disease, constricting the birth canal so as to deny a prosperous birth. Ea with his Lahamu men were watchful at the bolt of the sea. On high, Adad made it so that his rains were in short supply. Below, subterranean waters no longer gushed from springs, so that the farmers' fields no longer produced in abundance, and Nisaba held back the nourishing flows from her breast. Is Mabon equinox in some of the Western European languages, Celtic languages? Not terribly familiar with those traditions, but I do know what holiday today is, or yesterday. Eliel convened a congress, speaking to his children, the gods. You are the ones who passed your burdens on to mankind. You are the one who gave voice to the man, that he might speak. And you have slain a god altogether along with his mind, so you must do something about it and bring about a flood. You ought to utilize your power against your own people. You have so far proceeded wrongly. Thus, do the opposite. We must give astute Enki an oath that he must swear to. Enki raised his voice to be heard, saying to his fellow gods, Why on earth would you force me to swear an oath? Why, too, should I utilize my power against my own people? And this great flood you speak of, what are you implying? I'm confused by what you mean. Is it even in my power? Rather, this sort of vandalism is something Eliel should do. He himself should select the manner by which this happens, so that he will be the one who gets Adad to boom in the sky, with Shulhat and Hanish walking ahead like chamberlains, so Erikal will rip out every one of the pins from the bars, while Nimrod will come on hard and breach every blockade. The great ones, the Anunnaki, will be required to bear torches, that they might illuminate the country with their radiant light, so when Adad comes, all light will be swallowed into darkness. He will rear up and then go about trampling the terror-stricken. On the first day that a tempest will rise, blowing in an awful fury, unleashing the dreaded flood weapon, a rage like a war. The explosive annihilation weapon will descend over the people, who will lose sight of one another in the sheets of pouring rain. Even the gods will be alarmed by the full force of their flood. They will retreat to the safety of the highest heaven of Anu, where they will cower like dogs, kneeling by an outlying wall. There they will stay, brought to their knees and crying tears. Their lips will not utter, and will be foaming over with spittle. Wind will range 6 days and 7 nights, the tempest prevail, and every man and woman will have been reduced to clay. Do I support marijuana use? That is a very tricky question. I have a marijuana curse. But whatever you want to do with your life is fine with me. Flood time! Yes, Dr. Punk, I've been promising it to you for ages. Weeks, right? And we were stuck in drought for so long, and now finally Finally, the flood. And the flood's very scary. Every man and woman will have been reduced to clay. Then Eliel raised his voice, speaking to his children, the gods. The words you heard Enki speak are of no significance to us. You know the land is full, how much they have multiplied. And now we have been so annoyed by all the noise they make that we cannot get any sleep from all their incessant clamor. You are the ones who passed your burdens on to mankind. You are the ones who gave voice to the man that he might speak. And you have slain a god altogether along with his mind. So you must do something about it and bring about a flood. You ought to utilize your power against your own people. You have so far proceeded wrongly. Thus, do the opposite. What a strange, enigmatic sentence. I don't really understand it. All of these dynamics between the different gods, the ones that want mercy and the ones that want death. It's hard to parse. And the Congress decided in favor of the flood Eliel desired. Enki raised his voice to be heard, speaking to the high gods. This divine assembly has agreed to do something unfounded. You should not have listened to the justifications put forward, but you have made your commands strict and irrevocable, and Eliel has achieved something horrendous for the people. Eliel, the god of the flood, and Enki, the voice of reason, right? So we have this conflict set up, and that is the end of tablet 2. So tablet 3 is the final tablet of the story. It's not much longer. I think we'll be done in maybe another week. Tablet 3 is about how Atrahasis gets around the flood. So we will pick up where we left off tomorrow, and learn about the flood, finally. I'm glad we're done with drought. I bet Dr. Punk is too. How are you all doing today? So, good morning, Katie. Nice to see you. How are you? Put a smile on my face. So, today we will say Arati. Arati and Kaddish. Arati and Kaddish. Good morning, Rain. How are you doing? Welcome to this little corner of the internet where we say our morning prayers. Jaya Jaya Arati Vina Vinayaka Vina Vinayaka Shri Ganesha Jaya Jaya Arati Subramanya Subramanya Kartikeya Jaya Jaya Arati Venugopala Venugopala Venuola Papa Vidura Navanita Chora Jaya Jaya Arati Venkantaramana Venkantaramana Sankatarana Sitarama Radhe Shama Jaya Jaya Arati Gauri Manohara Gauri Manohara Bhavani Sankara Samba Sadashiva Uma Maheshwara Jaya Jaya Arati Raja Rajeshwari Raja Rajeshwari Tripura Sundari Mahalakshmi Mahasaraswati Mahakali Mahashakti Jaya Jaya Arati Anjaneya Anjaneya Hanumanta Jaya Jaya Arati Dattatreya Dattatreya Trimutri Vatara Jaya Jaya Arati Adityaya Adityaya Bhaskaraya Jaya Jaya Arati Sanischaraya Sanischaraya Bhaskaraya Jaya Jaya Arati Sankarachaya Sankarachaya Advaita Guravi Jaya Jaya Arati Sadgurunata Sadgurunata Shivananda Jaya Jaya Arati Vishnu Devananda Vishnu Devananda Vishnu Devananda Jaya Jaya Arati Agastya Munaye Agastya Munaye Shema Priyaye Jaya Jaya Arati Ayapa Samine Dharma Shastave Jaya Jaya Arati Jesus Grave Moses Grave Buddha Grave Jaya Jaya Arati Muhammad Grave Guru Nanak Grave Samastya Guru Bho Namaha Jaya Jaya Arati Venugopala Natatra Suyabati Natandra Karatam Nima Vidyopati Kutoya Magni Twameva Bantamidabandi Sarvam Tasya Pasya Samitam Vivanti Om Gange Kayamune Kaiva Govari Saraswati Narmade Sri Kaveri Yaha Namastitam Namo Namaha Twameva Mata Chapita Twameva Bandisha Saka Twameva Vidya Dravinam Twameva Sarvam Mama Deva Kayena Vacha Manasendriya Irva Buddhyatmana va Prakriti Sabhavad Karomyad Yad Mangalam Parasmahi Narayana iti Sarmar Payami Savadharmam Parichaya Mimikam Savanambraja Aham Svasarva Papayo Mokshayami Masucha. Whatever actions I perform with my body, speech, mind, senses, my nature, my intellect, or my emotions, all these I dedicate to you. Thank you so much for being here with me today. And thank you for subscribing, whoever did that. It says I reached a subscription goal, but it doesn't say who became a subscriber. So, I get incomplete information, but thank you. I really very deeply appreciate your support of this work. It gives me hope that we can be the kinds of humans that we want to be. And that might sound like a non sequitur, but it was you, Katie. Thank you, Katie. That's really sweet of you. Yeah, I don't know why why anything is here, right? And I wonder it every day, right? Why is there anything at all? Why are there humans here? How do we best human? How am I and all my animal friends? Well, I've got this animal friend right here. She's been very sleepy recently. She's just sleeping all day long. And she doesn't like it when I pick her up, so I'll let her go back to her bed. She's doing okay. I'm a little sad today. But it's okay. Sometimes we're just sad. And, when I am sad, which is often these days, I wonder why I'm alive, why anyone is alive, and if it's possible for such a thing as meaningful work to exist. And when y'all are here every morning so reliably, so kindly, so supportively, it reminds me that meaningful work is possible for me and for everyone else, right? Like, we can live the lives that we want, if we're lucky enough. Or perseverant enough. I don't know. I get caught up on concepts of meritocracy and earning and deserving and luck. Does my sad flower have a root? Yeah, I had a very difficult time in therapy with my father yesterday. It's a long and slow tragedy. But so it goes. So it goes. And I think with that, we will say Kaddish. We will say a prayer of mourning. Right? That's a little bit about what I will be mourning. It's what I've been mourning for weeks. Weeks and months. But Kaddish is a public prayer of mourning, right? We say these old words together in order to publicly acknowledge our grief and to grieve socially. because I do think that grief is an emotion that needs to be processed in a group. Thank you, Constance. Yeah, I am patient. I guess that is true. Yeah, we grieve together because our emotions don't actually exist simply in our own minds, right? It's an illusion that we might have sometimes, but we are deeply, deeply social creatures. And so some of the things that we experience, we have to experience together, or we can't experience them at all. So, with that, we will say Kaddish. And if there's anything that you are grieving, anything that you are mourning, try to release it with these words that my ancestors have been saying for 2,000 years in response to death. Yid Gadal, Vid Kaddash, Shema Rabba. Bialma Divrachute Viam Lichmal Chute, Bachayachon of Yamechon of Chayed Kolbe Israel, Bagala Visman Kari Vimru. Amen. Yehe Shema Rabba Miv Archli Olam Olmei Olmaya. Yid Barach Vishtabach Vid Baar Vid Ramam Vid Nase. Vitadar Vitale Vitalal Shema de Kudisha Barichu. Leila bin Kolbirchata Vishirata Tushbichata Venechemata Diamiran Biama Vimru. Amen. Yehe Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya Vichaim Aleinu V'Yachol Yisrael Vimru. Amen. Ose Shalom Bimramav Huya Ase Shalom Aleinu V'Yachol Yisrael Vimru. Amen. Ose Shalom Bimramav Huya Ase Shalom Aleinu V'Yachol Yisrael Vimru Vimru. Amen. Thank you so much for joining me here today, and all of the many days that you have joined us here together. Thank you. And if you'd like to support this stream and this community and this work that we do together, please check out the link in my bio. There's a link to Patreon, or you can leave a one-time tip if that is easier for you, or you can subscribe like Katie did to TikTok so that you can get a little badge and have special emojis. Quite the value proposition, isn't it? But truly, the care that I receive from all of you is what keeps me going, is what keeps me doing this. It's actually quite simple. I wouldn't be doing this if it weren't for all of you. So thank you. And I will see you here again tomorrow. Just say these words once more. And I hope you have a lovely day. Farewell.